From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show is everything starting to come together for the Florida State Seminoles, at least on the offensive line we discuss. And we got a stack of lists, everybody. We got freaks, top 25, and the best 5 stars of all time. Florida State's involved in all of them. Kind of. Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Shake it and take it, sip the juice. Developing breaking news. Corey, the buy one, get one free promo code is nearing its triumphant return, everybody. But if you can't wait, you can't wait. If you don't want to order on vitaminenergy.com, it's available at retailers across the country, including the Sunstop over in College Town, everybody. So if you're running between classes, which I think maybe Summer C is still going, maybe it's not. Maybe you just want to be energized as you rip it up over at Mad So and Township, you know.
Recess, Bowden's.
Yeah. Synergistically formulated to give you all the energy you need for an entire day and the vitamins to improve things like your immune system, your pump in the gym, your focus, and your mood. All in one little bottle. It's called Vitamin Energy. No sugar crash. Noles behind the operation as well. Shake it and take it. Warchant.com, ultimate Seminole sports source. Come get some, everybody. Only $1 for a week. Gives you full access to the website, as well as the entire On3 network. You can check out all the message boards of all the different fan sites, and you also can check out the main board. That's a big thing for a lot of folks. I don't think I've ever been on the main board, which is probably good because it gets pretty crazy. And don't forget, if you join Warchant now for $1 your first week and enjoy a complimentary year of The Athletic included with your membership. Who loves you, everybody? Warchant.com and the On3 network. Corey Clark. Remember when we used to say we loved each other when we'd sign off? But hey, man, I love you, buddy. I try to bring that to my friends. We've been doing an okay job with that. But what I do want to thank you for is the use of exclamation points when you're being sarcastic in text messages. I have brought that into all my group chats with my friend, and it's spread. It's become a sensation. It's great. I really feel like it's loosening up the dialogue, the narrative, the conversations between me and my friends. So thank you, buddy.
Well, I'm glad I could help you guys out. That's what I live for. Yeah. That would have had an exclamation point if it was a text. But yeah, I would encourage everyone to add exclamation points to really 2 or 3 to hammer home how unexcited you really are. And when I don't ever type out LOL because that's crazy. It's not 2001 anymore or 1999. I'll put ha with an exclamation point because that's like if I got a genuine laugh out of something, I will. Well, now I'll just I'll do the Apple version of hitting ha ha.
Right.
But I'll also add ha occasionally. But yeah, that's the only way I tell people in text that I'm laughing is a ha. I never do LOL. ROFL. Is that still a thing? What would you do if your friend legitimately sent you an ROFL?
I would, a wellness check, probably.
Yeah, that's good.
Is everything okay, buddy?
I do use LOL. Who's got your phone? Who is this?
Yeah. I do use LOL, all lowercase though, but just for like ironic purposes. But I get it. It's a little bit odd as a grown man to be doing it, but such is life. You got to be weird every now and then. All right, let's get to it. Mike Norvell, Micah Pettis. Who else did we speak to?
Oh, we got Kevin Wynn.
That's right. Juju.
Yeah, freshman. Juju.
Before we get to the players, Mike Norvell, you can interpret all this stuff down, distill it for us, Corey, because you had to type it all out as it was happening. Overarching things seem to be that he was excited about the way they've been performing here the last 2 practices. I think he said something along the lines of maybe one of their better practices going all the way back to the spring. How would you analyze what he said? What did you take away from the comments Mike Norvell made at the podium on Monday?
Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot, I'll be honest with you. Just because I think he was pleased with their practice today. But what does that mean? There were a lot of practices last year where he seemed pleased at this time of year, and that didn't that didn't factor into anything that we saw on Saturdays. So I don't take a lot from the words. I know that's hard to like start a show like that since that's all we talk about is what we hear. I think it's the specific answers to questions about. Look, man, I don't know what kind of information we're ever going to get. They have a scrimmage today. I don't know if he's going to tell us who scored touchdowns. I'm going to ask. He'll have to just say no comment, or I don't remember. I'd have to watch whatever he's going to say. But I asked him like, who's been your best wide receiver?
Yeah.
It's a simple question. Yeah. He gave us 5 answers, but I think not that these names are surprising, but it's good to know that there's like a quintet of guys that are probably going to be rotating in and playing the most. He mentioned Deuce and Squirrel first, which is not surprising. Then I think he mentioned. I guess Boggs was next, then LaWayne, and then Elijah Moore. That, to me, is your 5. We talked about this on yesterday's show, and I think that is a nice quintet to have. You hope that guys like, I don't know, man, B.J. Gibson, Cam Fryer, Mekhi Danzy, they can work there, who made the freak list, by the way. I guess we'll talk about that in a bit. That they can work themselves up to it, but it feels like those 5 are the 5. And then we did get a little information that Landon Thomas and Chase Lofton have been, what does he say, limited. Sounds like Landon Thomas is more limited than and limited could just mean out, everyone. Who knows? But it sounded like Chase Lofton did play some on Monday or practice some on Monday. It didn't sound like Landon Thomas did, at least to my ear. But the point being, so Randy Pittman is going to be a pass catcher. Landon Thomas, if he's healthy, is going to be a guy. He mentioned Amari Williams, too. So you got the tight end room, and then you got those 5 wideouts. That seems like a not a bad group of pass catchers. So maybe that's what I got from Monday's press conference.
Did we get anything about quarterback play?
Just that he thought it was Tommy's best day.
Okay.
He did say that. So that was encouraging. By the way, I'm going to keep doing this. Hold on 1 second. Hey, fill it while I look up something real quick. Say something awesome.
I can't with all this pressure on me here, but he also did mention physicality is getting improved, talking about he wants to see dominant contact. I wonder where he picked that buzzword up from, but I like that. It's one thing to – because I think maybe –
Tony White, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that so. Tony White's kind of buzzword?
Yeah. So it's one thing, to get there and thud and make, contact, but you want it to be a dominant – because, listen, you can bump into somebody in the club, right? And then you'll be like, whoa, like you're the one that gets knocked back. You don't want to be that person. You don't want your drink to spill. You want their drink to spill. So sounds like they're girding up and responding, if you will, to these opportunities, Corey, but – not to poke too much fun at the coach speak, a lot of it that we got on Monday, but I'm not going to, I like when he's being more critical, but I will obviously allow for good days to happen and for him to kind of balance things out with some more positive stuff, which is what we heard kind of on Monday.
So here's what I wanted to look up, because, again, this is something I'm going to be hammering home, folks, for the next 3 weeks and probably for the next 3 months. They're going to talk about physicality and impactful physicality, however they phrase it. Dominant contact. I like impactful physicality myself. Either one's good for a college band.
Yeah.
If you got a band playing at one of those places we mentioned, dominant contact's not bad.
No, not
right?
at all.
It'd be funny if it was dominant contact and it was like a string quartet. But anyway, so Tommy Castellanos, man, I'm going to keep harping on this. You can't really get a sense of what he's going to do in games in practice. But because I don't think they're going to call a lot of just straight running plays for him. I don't know if they're even going to call straight running plays for him during the course of the season. But they're certainly not going to do it a lot during practice because they're trying to get him in rhythm with the receivers, get him in rhythm with the offensive line. But this is kind of a cheat code that they have that they can use, as long as he's healthy, they can utilize kind of anytime they want. And the reason I bring that up is because I brought up, I think it was last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, the 75 first downs he ran for.
Yes.
In 2023. I looked it up where that stacked in the nation. That was number 2 in the nation. So understand, Florida State, like imagine if Florida State had brought a running back in. that 2 years ago was second in the country in first down runs for first downs.
First downs game.
He also led the country in runs of 10 yards or more. He had 48 runs of 10 yards or more, which led the United States. So I just want to hammer home this point that this kid is not normal. And if he is unleashed, it's insanity to me that Boston College didn't just – I don't understand if they were going to run that offense, why he stayed, why you would have a weapon like that and kind of put the brakes on it, put a governor on it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't get the feeling that Malzahn and Norvell will. And so you are getting one of the best runners in college football. Not just running quarterbacks, you're getting one of the best runners in college football. And that's not something we'll really hear about or they'll really publicize for the next 3 weeks. It's just something that will be on display against Alabama and moving forward as long as he's healthy. And I just imagine if you got a running back that was second in the country in first down runs for first downs, and led the country in runs of 10 yards or more. Everybody would be flipping out. Oh my God, we got the best dude in the country. Florida State's going to has one of the best running backs in the country, but nobody's really giving a lot of. I don't know. They're not thought's the right word, but they're not really appreciating what they got in this kid as just a straight runner. Now he's not back there just to run. Here's another part of the game of playing quarterback, a pretty big one, and it's like throwing the football. But if everything else breaks down, and you can't run the ball traditionally, and your receivers are having a hard time getting open, well, you've got a dude back there that's like a human joystick that can't be tackled one-on-one by a defensive lineman and is going to be a headache for every defense he goes up against. That should be encouraging just moving forward. And as I've said time and time again, if Florida State would have gotten him last year instead of DJU, they go to a bowl if he stays healthy. They aren't great. He isn't Jameis Winston. He's not Charlie Ward. He's not an incredible quarterback. But he would have won some games just on pure athleticism alone. And he would have opened up other areas of the running game. So I'm going to keep hammering that point home. This is not just a traditional running quarterback. This is a uniquely unicorn-like running back. A quarterback led the country in runs of 10 or more yards. That's crazy. At Boston College, which it's not like people were playing. Once the Florida State game happened, everybody was honed in on Tommy Castellanos. He still ran for 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns. Anyway, back to you, Aslan.
I think he ran for 10 first downs alone against the Army.
Take that, cadets.
Better tighten up, West Point. Come on.
Yeah, for real.
How can you defend democracy if you can't even defend against Tommy Castellanos? Micah Pettis, one of the offensive linemen that was brought in through the transfer portal. We spoke to him on Monday, and he pointed that out, Corey, right? Like he mentioned that there's just something different about Tommy when he cuts and runs. So that kind of underscores.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of ask. I'm going to ask a lot of people about it because I just think it's something that's not being kind of not underappreciated. Just it's not on at the forefront of everybody's mind. But if he was 6'4", 228 in a pocket passer, I would not be confident at all about what this offense was going to look like this year, especially if he got benched at Boston College. Or sorry, whatever happened at Boston College, the season that happened where he did not play well and was not happy and did not fit with that offense, I wouldn't be this happy about it. But this is a different kind of kid. And when you hear Micah Pettis, who played with Jackson Dart last year and played in the SEC and has played with some dudes, when he's talking about Castellanos just being different, like, you watch it on film, but when you see it in person, it is a different level of speed. That is a weapon, and it's an ultimate cheat code. It's an equalizer, and we all saw it. Like, that Boston College team didn't deserve to be on the field with that Florida State team, even though Florida State apparently had the flu or COVID, whatever they had, COVID-23. When there was a sickness going in that Florida State Boston College game in 2023. But if Tommy Castellanos had been just an average quarterback that day, Florida State still wins by 2 or 3 touchdowns at least. As it was a white knuckler down to the end. And if there's not a crazy face mask call, I think everybody's not a crazy call. It was the right call, but they face masked Toafili on that 3rd and 3 play to basically end the game. If Florida State had to give the ball back right there, I feel like all of us think Castellanos would have let him down the field, probably with his legs, and got them in position to kick a game-winning field goal. This kid's unique, man. And that was last time I checked, was a pretty good defense. And he went for 400 against them. Cool to have that in your back pocket. And it's cool to know that he's still fat. Like, he didn't lose it. You know what I mean? It's not like – because sometimes you'll hear about guys that they put on too much weight or they're in the weight room too much or they try to become more of a pocket passer, and they kind of lose some of that athleticism. That is not the case with Castellanos, according to everybody that watches him in practice.
No. Speaking to Pettis, obviously an offensive lineman, and to your point earlier that it's hard to really – gauge how serious or how accurate the words are that are coming from Mike Norvell. Somebody was asking in one of the threads in the morning about, hey, what have we heard about the offensive line? And I'm like, hey, check out the thread from Norvell's press conference. Corey's transcribing everything out, but he said that, he thinks that they're have the opportunity to grow together and become a good unit, and that they have a good idea of where they need to be in their assignments. And I think like 3 replies, like, I don't care what he said. Like, I don't care what he said. What have you guys heard? But in speaking with Pettis, he seems to have a good feel, and he's pretty confident. It sounds like that they're all on the same page and they're on the same accord. But I liked when I asked him the question about, I would just wonder if there's anything different about Gus. Although I think Lane, to a certain extent, because they do run so much tempo at Ole Miss too. It's not necessarily, all right, all 5 of you guys need to make the best block of your life on this one play to make it work. You're going fast to catch the defensive lineman off guard. So even if you get a reach block on them, that's enough to open something up. But he mentioned that Coach Hand says that if they're all wrong, they're all right.
Yeah.
Meaning that if everybody does, say they call out the wrong protection, but as long as everybody is doing the same wrong protection, it'll actually be okay because they'll all be on the same page and they'll be blocking something correctly, and it's going to be on the responsibility of the running back to find the right seam or the quarterback to make something happen. So it does sound like the offensive line is gelling well, and Pettis, I think, cleared up some of the misconceptions we had about the spring in terms of his availability. It sounded like he was out there a lot. Maybe didn't go through every single thing, but he was at practice every day and at least got mental reps, which I think is a little bit more helpful than what I thought earlier on.
Yeah, because, he's done it so much, man. I know you learn more by doing. Most people do anyway, but he's played so much college football. I think he started like 30 games in his career or something like that. So it's not like it's absolutely necessary that he's getting every rep possible. He is smart enough and experienced enough that he can get the mental reps and kind of feel like what it's going to be, especially because it was the spring. But now that it's here, we're 3 weeks away from the game. It is good that they, apparently they had their best day, and he used the word 3 or 4 times. They're gelling, and the fact that it's 5 really experienced dudes on that line of scrimmage is a good sign. That's a good thing to have, and I did too. I liked the way he talked about how much they like each other and how much they get along. I think that's genuine. I don't know what that translates to as far as wins, but if they're on the same page and not confused all the time, which Malzahn's offense probably isn't all that confusing, right? It goes fast. It's a lot of I think it's probably just a lot of block the guy that's in front of you. Or it's one quick call, one quick check, and then go. It's not going to be, hopefully, heaven forbid it's this, it's not going to be Castellanos pointing at guys for 12 seconds, going down the line of scrimmage one by one, talking to dudes, and then getting back and then having to hurry and clap because the play clock's running down. I don't foresee that happening with Gus Malzahn's offense a lot. So I don't think it can be overstated how much experience helps, especially, as you pointed out, when they haven't played together. None of these guys have played a single college snap together. They've probably combined, I would guess, to play, 7,000 snaps, 5,000 snaps in their careers, at least. These 5 guys, with counting Richie Leonard and the 4 transfers that are likely going to play, but yeah, none together. But those snaps matter too. Getting all those reps help you just to get adjusted and acclimated quicker. And you've got a veteran head coach, a veteran offensive line coach with those dudes, And I like when he was talking about what they did well on Monday, because Norvell praised the offense, and then Pettis was asked, what'd you do well? And he's like, well, we kind of did everything well. And I think his quote was like, we moved people out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there we go. Awesome. But I also understand that people are like, yeah, great, that's words. But, that's all we got right now. And, in fact, even if we were watching practice, last year we watched practice and they moved people out of the way. It's hard, but the fact that them being on the same page is, to me, the most important thing. They can do it. They're not going to get just completely decimated by even a talented defensive line. That's not going to happen. But as long as they're on the same page. Meaning, like he said, he's like, if everybody gets the wrong call and does the wrong thing, but they all do the same wrong thing, then it's right, is what you were alluding to when Pettis said that. As in, they're all going in the same direction. The problem is when 3 guys are doing one thing and 2 guys are doing something else. And that's when you get the 6-yard tackles for loss. So I get more and more confident about what this offensive line is going to be. They're good communicators. They're smart kids, at least the ones we've talked to. They seem like smart, bright kids, willing to learn, and they're hard workers. And all that is a really good sign for an offense that should be much better, much, much better. And they know they're being leaned on. Like there's no misconception about what this offense is going to be. It is going to be a downhill running game with a mobile quarterback. And so these guys have to be good, and they have to move people. And the 6'7", 350-pound dude like Pettis absolutely needs to be moving people. So it's good that he is.
Quick sloppy math in terms of the 4 guys that we assume are going to start that transferred in this season. I didn't count Richie Leonard because he came in last year. Over 7,000 snaps between Gunnar Hansen, Micah Pettis, Adrian Medley, and Luke Pettibone.
And then Richie Leonard's probably another 1,000 at least.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
8,000 snaps, man.
Not bad.
Out of and it's not like they got 8,000 snaps in the Sun Belt.
And UTEP.
Or in Division II.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, it's SEC and Big 12. And it's all Power 4 conferences.
Yeah.
That just, again, you can't really put a price tag on that. But again, I understand it because last year it was a very similar thing. You had a bunch of guys that had played high-level football.
Together.
All coming back.
Side by side for a bunch of times. So.
Yep.
What I also like from Pettis was his response to Ira's question about, he was at Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss was a preseason pick to make the college football playoff, and now he's here at Florida State that did not crack the initial top 25 preseason poll from the coaches, and whether or not that affected him. And it goes back maybe to a little bit of what we talked about in the last show, guys that love football, and he said something along the lines, Corey, of, I don't care what people say on the outside. He's like, I love playing football, and I'm going to play as hard as I possibly can, and he made it seem like that's going to be his mantra and probably the same mantra of a lot of guys around him that Florida State's going to be depending on.
Yeah, I like, because we talked about it yesterday's show. Like, if you come to join a 2-10 team, you can't care about preseason rankings. And I think that the dude's, again, he comes across as a football player, man. And he's out. He said he loves football. He's out there to play football. He was excited about the scrimmage today, that's, I guess, tonight, actually, or around 7, when the Nats are at their best. At Doak. They're going to be in Doak, so that's good to know. Aslan, get you a hard hat and like a fluorescent vest and act like you're one of the workers.
Yeah, by the way, the reason that I never made that video about the seats in Doak is because I got chased out of there by a construction worker. So I tried, everybody.
Not a cop?
No.
What's the construction worker going to do? It ain't his stadium.
I know.
It's the taxpayer's stadium.
I almost wanted to be like, come on. I think it's because he saw me carrying a camera. I think that's what bothered him, is he saw me carrying a camera. If I would have just done it with my cell phone and had my phone in my pocket, I don't think it would. But he saw me like a tripod and my other camera, so he's probably like, oh, this guy might be doing some sort of expose and trying to blow the cover on us. So I need to reach out to Michael Alford. Maybe I need to reach out to Michael Alford and just be like, hey, man, can you just... Because the guy was like, you need a hat. He's like, you need a hard hat, you need work boots, and you need a vest, like a neon green vest. And I'm like, come on, dude.
You should be like, well, give me one.
Yeah, and I should be like, all right, well, where do I pick them up at?
Well, where's the trailer that has all that in it? So, just the fact that he was excited about the scrimmage. Again, football player, just a football player. We'll see what we get out of the scrimmage as far as actual information. But, it is interesting. Norvell did talk about it. Like, it is kind of interesting for a scrimmage to be this early. But he's like, we're 6 days in. I want to see where we are. and they're having another scrimmage at the end of the week. Like they're on a different pace and a different timetable than they were last year. Than they've been since they've been here. They've never done. I don't think they've ever done a scrimmage this early, and I definitely don't feel like they've done 2 scrimmages in 1 week. So this is kind of a unique deal they're doing. But again, he's changed it up. Not just that we're not at practice. He's changed up the way they practice. And he's changed up the schedule. So,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
They will be practicing 8 days in a row, starting on when they came back from their 1 day off. From Sunday, August 3rd, they're going to be going straight through all the way up until Sunday, August 10th. They'll be doing 8 straight days of work. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But hey, man, you're trying to instill something. So good for them. And the vets will get some time off. Some of those times will be like a lot. It'll be heavy with the underclassmen. They do that stuff too. But yeah, man, and it ain't a fun time to be practicing in Tallahassee with the heat. By the way, I meant to mention on yesterday's show, I think we talked about James Williams a little bit yesterday.
We did.
I went back and wrote a story about him, and that's what reminded me, jogged my memory about when he was talking about he and Darryl. And he's like, and I thought it was, again, encouraging. It's not something that guarantees anything, but I like the fact that he's like, we're not here to go 6-6 or 7-5. He's like, we have championship aspirations. He was talking about him and Darryl because I guess he was talking about him and Darryl because that's where that's the context of the question. But I think he could have been talking about the whole room or the whole team or whatever. But he did say, I just like because I think sometimes people hear me talk about they're going to be better, they can't be worse, as if I'm settling for 6-6. Like, yeah, as long as Florida State's 6-6, I'm happy. It's like, no, man, I grew up with this program too. What happened last year is embarrassing. 6-6 isn't as embarrassing, but it still kind of sucks, especially in modern college football, especially in the ACC. But it's not like that's the standard anymore, and it's good to hear a newcomer coming from Nebraska who's used to 6-6, honestly, or thereabouts, usually worse than that, right? They don't go to bowls, that he's not okay with that. Like, he's chasing more than – so if anybody's worried that the players – they're just trying to be better. They're not trying to chase anything of importance. At least he verbalized it. 6-6 isn't good enough for them either. 7-5, they're not happy with that either. Even though it's a market improvement over 2-10, it's still not what they came here to do. So I just thought that was encouraging to hear.
Speaking of encouraging to hear, the voice of Kevin Juju Wynn. I should have probably gone back and researched this, but it would have taken too much time, and I ain't got time for that. But I wonder, we get to speak to every single freshman. Mike Norvell affords us that opportunity whenever they enroll. So if they enroll in January, we get them then. If they enroll in summer, we'll get them before camp starts. But to have a guy like Kevin Wynn speak to us this kind of early on in camp, I'm not saying he's part of the solution up front, but definitely might be fast-tracked. If I don't know, the numbers on the defensive line seem to be a little bit concerning just in terms of guys that have done it, that are capable of doing it. And I know he's a true freshman, but he's a really special kind of kid, it seems like. So for him to kind of be put in front of the media again this quickly makes me think he's either ahead of schedule or they're trying to poke and prod him along because they do see an opportunity. Maybe not week 1 against Alabama, but he's probably in the plans October, November, when he gets some seasoning on it. We'll hear that he's not a freshman anymore, right? Like when it's 6 games into the season, feels like they're kind of setting him up for that kind of trajectory.
Yeah, that's fair. It definitely seems like he's part of their plans. I don't know how much he'll play in week 1. It's kind of a tough college football opener for a true freshman on the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, I do think that he's going to be a guy that they plan on being a part of the rotation, and maybe very quickly. And it's a fair point. I mean, for those that don't know, the way it's worked out is we get a coach, usually Norvell, or a position coach. But after these practices, we'll get a coach and 2 players. That's it. It's not like there are 8 players coming to talk to us. And, yeah, of course we've run into freshmen. They've run out. No, we've gotten – so there's been 5 practices. We've gotten 10 players.
Here we go. So we got Kevin Wynn and Micah Pettis on Monday. Sunday we got Earl Little and Elijah Moore.
So we think Earl Little and Pettis are starting for sure. Keep going.
James Williams, Omar Graham.
Starters probably, or at least in the rotation.
Jeremiah Wilson, Jerry Wilson, and Gavin Sawchuk.
Yeah, starters.
Luke Pettibone, Deuce Robinson.
Starters.
So, yeah, that's the.
So the fact that Elijah talked, but especially it's a really good point. Like the first freshman we got is a defensive lineman, but he's a defensive lineman they really love, and it's a defensive lineman that, yeah, it's kind of early on. I mean, there's still 70 players we haven't talked to, including the quarterback, that they're willing to give us him. Like there's a reason for that. I do think that's a good point, Aslan. I hadn't really thought about that, but I was surprised that he came in on Monday. So yeah, he must be impressing. I don't think you would throw him. Let me put it this way: I don't think they would throw him out there if he was going to be a third stringer redshirt. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense right now. And I do think Norvell thinks about those things. You people might be listening to that. It's like, man, they're looking at a roster and picking. No, that's not. Norvell's pretty.
There's a reason we got Elijah Moore after he said that he had three like really good days of practice in a row.
Yeah, Norvell, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do a lot of things off the cuff. He puts thought into it, and the fact that Kevin Wynn is the first freshman we got, and again, he's one of the first defensive players we've gotten. Period. We haven't got. I know we got Daryl Jackson at Media Day, but we haven't gotten Daryl Jackson yet. But we got Kevin Wynn. So yeah, that's that. And look, man, he is a big son of a gun. I always say that it's. Well, I'm not. I don't always say this. People know this. That it is really, really hard to make an impact as a college football freshman on the line of scrimmage, because you go from playing 17-year-olds. Think about this, man. I don't know what he is. He's 18 or 19. Every single starting offensive lineman on the Florida State roster is at least 22. Maybe some of them are 23. Adrian Medley is a 2019 high school graduate. He might be 24, 25 years old. And he's going up against a teenager. So you're a teenager going up against grown men. And he's holding his own enough that he's coming in to be interviewed. That's a really good sign. And I think there are some dudes that are built different, man. And he called himself country strong on Monday when I asked about, it was a poorly worded question, but I got a good response out of it about, just he's always been the strongest kid on any football field he's probably ever been on in his life until now. But it kind of sounds like he thinks he's still the strongest kid on the field.
Yeah.
And even I don't know what, and he's like, he didn't get into like numbers in the weight room, but he's like, I'm country strong, man, and he is a big barrel chested.
What he physically. I like what he said. He's like, it comes on when I need it. Almost like it's like a superpower. Like it just. The Incredible Hulk, like just whenever like he gets angry, like it just snaps. He goes from normal.
But also, there are guys that are in the weight room that can throw up a lot of weight, but when they have a dude leaning on them, they can't muster that strength up. Kevin Wynn is a dude where he seems to feel like he's one of those guys that when he puts the pads on, he moves people. Even if they bench 445 and he benches 410 or something, he's pushing them out of the way with explosiveness. And just pure country strength that can't really be measured in a weight room necessarily. So either way, what a great preparation for him. That I don't know that this Florida State offensive line is going to be one of the best in the country, but I do know it's one of the oldest and most veteran in the country, and they're all in their close to their mid-20s. They're about to get some real good rates on insurance. They're going to be able to rent cars. I mean, this is an old offensive line, man. And so for him to be going against those guys every day, that's just great preparation for him. And, yeah, if he's holding his own with them right now, a week into his first preseason camp, then, yeah, there's no reason to think that he might not be one of these outliers that can play a lot as a true freshman on the line of scrimmage.
You all can play some trivia tonight at 7 p.m. at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. And buy Steph a drink. That team is going to be a little bit handicapped because Corey Clark's going to have to race back home to transcribe Mike Norvell after tonight's scrimmage.
That's fine. I'll be there, though. I'll be there for the last question, then I'll bolt. Let me say this real quick about Corner Pocket, Aslan.
Yes.
You know who's become sort of a regular there is our own Matt Lasser.
Oh, yeah.
Who I think is he just graduated a couple of years ago, so he's like 24 or so. Yeah. And he came out one of these weekend nights. He came out and hang out. Him and his buddies came out and hung out with Steffi and I on like a weekend night. Nice. And the reason why was, obviously the company was great. The foods, I don't even think they ate. It's cheap beer, man.
Yeah.
You understand. I want people to understand that. Like, he's paying half at Corner Pocket. He's paying half for a beer that he would pay in maybe those aforementioned spots we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The beer is half as expensive.
Yeah.
So
and twice as delicious.
Twice as delicious. Yeah. Just if you're in the mood for cheap beer. Yeah. It's a good place to go. On top of the lunch specials that we all love.
We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Shake it and take it. I don't know if Mike Norvell's got an actual vote in the coaches poll. Actually, I could probably look that up if I just hit Control F on my keyboard. This year, he does not. Jay Norvell does, though. Kalen DeBoer's got a vote. Manny Diaz has got a vote. But anyhow, the coaches poll dropped on Monday afternoon. Florida State in the others receiving votes category, they received 8 votes ahead of Kansas, Vanderbilt, and Buffalo, who wound down that section of the poll. So number 1 is Texas, everybody. Florida State, I think 3 teams on their schedule ranked in the top 25. Clemson at number 6, Alabama at number 8, Miami at number 10. So 4, because the Gators are at 17. Alabama at 8, Miami at 10. Every year there's always been one team that was preseason ranked top 10 that ends up not being in the top 10 or not even ranked when the season's over. Florida State was that team in 2017, and they were last year. I think Michigan was as well. Which of those 3 teams you think that are on Florida State's schedule, Clemson, Alabama, Miami, is most likely to be the next dubious distinction of being preseason top 10 than not even being ranked when the season ends?
I mean, is this even a question? Maybe the one that hasn't done anything in 2.5 decades? I feel like that's the right answer there. Look, yeah, I could be completely wrong. I just think the skill set that Carson Beck will bring to that offense is not remotely close to the guy they just had. It's just not remotely close. I would compare it to keep it in the conference. When NC State lost Russell Wilson, they lost so much dynamism. Dynamism, is that a word? Dynamic ability. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. That's a better way to say it. Now, do you remember who replaced Russell Wilson as the quarterback at NC State?
Was it Glennon?
Yeah, pretty good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Huge neck. Pretty good quarterback.
Large neck.
NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Carson Beck is an NFL quarterback. Big arm, big kid. When you give him time, he makes those throws. I see it being like that. But the difference between Cam Ward and Carson Beck for what you need in a college football offense, I just think it's going to be like Charlie Ward to Danny Cannell, man. It's going to be different. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking about mobile quarterbacks. That helps. But yeah, man, Carson Beck's going to be sacked a lot. He's going to have to throw off rhythm a lot. Cam Ward handled that like he was in the park on a Tuesday afternoon. He never got rattled. He brushed people off. He just rolled around and made plays. And Carson Beck, I just don't foresee him being that guy. And I don't think Miami's going to give him some litany of weapons where he just can be a game manager. He's going to have to go win them games. And Carson Beck isn't Cam Ward. And so that's why I'm putting it all on the quarterback. I know they made some upgrades. And I could be completely wrong. He might win the Heisman. So cut this out. Get that in there too. I qualified everything. But that's the one that I think because they went from a big-name quarterback to another big-name quarterback, people think that offense is going to just keep humming. And I just don't see that happening at all. Like, they'll still be good. They still got players. But Miami had, I don't know, man, they have the best offense in the country last year, one of the top 5.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that happening with Carson Beck.
No, but to bring it back to the conference again, this feels like a better – what they're telling themselves is probably what we were telling ourselves last year, right?
Well, how'd that work out?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I do think their offensive line is a little bit more proven than Florida State's
100%.
offensive line was last year. They got a really good offensive line. They really like their running backs. So can they work off play action? I mean, that's what it feels like it's going to be. But I don't know if Shannon Dawson, their OC, really wants to run a pro-style offense. He's more of an air raid guy. And to your point, Cam Ward, different skill set than Carson Beck. But, I mean, they got a really good offensive line. They can run the ball well. And then Carson Beck does need to be a game manager, but maybe make 1 or 2 special throws a game to win football games. Like, that's reasonable. I don't know if that is a reasonable formula, though. But to ask that out of him, I think is reasonable.
sure, but it's just hard to know how good that offense is without Cam Ward. Like, Cam Ward was the offense. Like, he made that offense go. Like, he was really, really good. They also had the good running back, but Cam Ward was just
the number one overall pick.
Heisman.
Yeah, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a Heisman candidate. He was a great college football player, and I think you can't really put in you can't really stress how important that is when you know that even if you get beat as an offensive lineman, that kid can probably get rid of the ball. He's going to make some throws. He's going to roll around for 11 seconds. He can also run. He's not a burner like Castellanos, but he can run certainly well enough. And he was just a unique, extremely gifted quarterback. And so it's easy to it will look different. It will just look different, and it won't be as good. If it's still good, if it's still really good, they're going to win a lot of games. I'm not convinced it's going to be really good, even with a good offensive line, because it's just.
What about Alabama? Doesn't a lot of this apply to Alabama too? Then they've got really good offensive line. Who knows? I mean, Carson Beck's obviously much more accomplished than Ty Simpson at quarterback, but Alabama's got much better receivers.
I just think who's going to give anybody grief for putting Alabama in the top 10? I think Alabama's been established now. I know it's not with DeBoer, but they've been established now for 2 decades. Miami just, I don't know, man. It feels like a flash in the pan because of a great quarterback that was just there for a year. If Cam Ward was coming back, yeah, man, they should be number 5 in the country. But he's not. And I think it's a big leap to think that Carson Beck is just – what were they last year? What did they finish, 10th, 11th? They're going to finish as high or higher with a lesser quarterback?
Better defense, though, apparently. That's their formula, they think.
It couldn't be worse. Yeah. That was a really, really mediocre defense they had. So, yeah, maybe.
Statistically really good, though. I mean, statistically they were average to like above average, but they did not perform well when
especially
it mattered.
There at the end.
No,
the Syracuse game and the Georgia Tech game, they really fell apart. But they had a 10-2 season, so I get it. When you go 10-2, I left out that bowl game because Cam only played. What did he play? He played the first half, right? Yeah. That was crazy. But they were a 10-2 team, and they would have won that bowl game if their quarterback had played the second half. But yeah, so yeah, I think they're going to be better defensively. I don't know what their wideouts look like. I just think it's a big leap to think that they're just going to keep humming along after they lost the best quarterback they've had in 40 years. That they're just going to keep humming along, and it's going to be, yeah, we go again. We're going to win another 10 games. It might happen. It's just a big leap to make because I've watched Carson Beck a lot. I'm not an enormous fan of him as a prospect, as a player, but maybe this will be the year and he'll be awesome.
Another list. Freaks.
Oh, but I wanted to say real quick about Alabama. I'm sorry, Aslan. Sorry, real quick. Yeah, I just think they've earned the benefit of the doubt. It's Alabama. They have real players. I think it's a bigger leap.
Quarterback
to put Miami
hasn't done diddly poo. The quarterback has not done diddly poo, man. They don't have a quarterback.
That's true. It's I think it's because they won national championships with McElroy and Jacob Coker. I know that was a generation ago now, but they did. That I still think it's on the coaches' minds that it doesn't matter even if they have a great quarterback. Alabama's always going to find a way to be decent to good. Miami has not proven to be that program in recent, well, not even recent history. In all this century, they have not proven to be a program that can be any good unless they have a sensational quarterback, which has happened once.
I think they respect Kalen. I think Kalen DeBoer has a good amount of respect in the coaching fraternity, too. He's done it everywhere. Yeah. He did it at NAIA, at South Dakota, or Sioux Falls. He did it at Indiana. He did it at Fresno State with Jake Haener. Did it in the Pac-12 with Washington. I know they weren't great last year at Alabama, but they were not like a horrendous. They were 9-4, and they could have easily won that Tennessee game if they didn't have. I think Milroe got hurt or something like that in that game, possibly. So. I think it just kind of speaks to the fact that he's always figured out a way, other than last year, though, because Jalen Milroe was not a highly functional quarterback. But what he did with Jake Haener at Fresno State, what he did with Penix at Indiana, and then at Washington, and whatever he did with whoever he had at Sioux Falls, he's obviously – and then listen, I mean, that sounds kind of crazy to cite an NAIA run, but I think maybe he's paid his dues, earned his stripes, so I think that probably helps his team stay afloat, and that brand, obviously.
And you brought up Milroe. Don't you assume, because Milroe just wasn't very good last year, wasn't really a good quarterback, period. He had a couple nice games, but overall, don't you think that it's almost a certainty that they'll get better quarterback play this year? I know it's a new guy, and we don't know for sure, but it's not like they're going – again, it's not like they had Cam Ward last year. They had a nondescript kind of average quarterback. So they're not – even if Simpson or whoever becomes the starter for Alabama is named the starter, you got to assume it's not going to be a big drop-off because there's not much of a drop-off to get from Milroe. That's why I think Miami is a little different because Miami could have a pretty substantial drop-off. Alabama.
Throwing the football, it's hard to imagine they're not going to have a better thrower of the football. Yeah. He had 16 touchdowns, 11 picks, completed 64% of his passes, not even 3,000 yards. But he ran for 726 yards and scored 20 touchdowns on the ground. So that's hard to
Milroe
replace.
ran for 20 touchdowns?
20.
Sweet Moses.
20.
Hey, man. And Castellanos is better than him as a runner. Throwing that out there, folks. So you'd live with those numbers. Read them again, Aslan. 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 20 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. I was about to say, what's your trade-off for 15 interceptions from Tommy? Like, how many yards does he have to run for you to be like
1,100?
Yeah, probably that's probably about accurate.
No, I would say 11,000. He doesn't need to be throwing 15 interceptions. And he didn't last year. He was pretty good.
I know, but he didn't run. I'm saying like 2013 or 2023, I think he had 12 picks or maybe 11 picks. Yeah. But he ran for however many, I think over 1,000 yards that year. So it's like, all right, well, what do we, what's the sort of the trade-off here? So he ran for 1,113 yards and he threw 14 picks.
But how many touchdowns did he throw?
15.
And he ran for 13. So
he
had 28 to 14 touchdowns to turnovers.
Well, I don't know how many fumbles he had, though.
But that's true. But I would say anywhere in that neighborhood, like I don't want 2-1, but I'd definitely take 3-1 touchdown to turnover ratio,
Bold.
2.5-1. So if he gives me 32 touchdowns total in 11 picks, I can live with that. Coming off 2-10, I can live with that. That's going to be a fun season. You're going to score a lot of points. You're going to be in a lot of games. You just hope the turnovers aren't critical. But they usually are. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the freaks list. Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, which, again, join Warchant now for $1 for a week and enjoy a complimentary subscription to The Athletic. Florida State checks in on the freaks list. There was 101 players, I think, on the list this year. And Micaiah Danzy, the lone Nole, checks in at 68 on the list, Corey. Their opponents, Miami's got one player, their offensive lineman, Francis Mauigoa, checked in at 16. Clemson, one player, Peter Woods, their interior defensive lineman. He was number 5. Florida's got 2 players, defensive end Jaden Woods, number 40, running back Jaden Ball, 53. Pitt's got 2 players. A defensive lineman who's 24th, Francis Brew, and a linebacker, Kyle Louis, 65. NC State's got 3 guys on the list. They've got an offensive lineman, Jacarius Peak, checks in at 31. Their running back, Duke Scott, 66th, and linebacker Sean Brown, 75. Wake Forest, their kick returners on the list as well. I didn't check Virginia Tech. I don't think Virginia does either. Alabama's got 3 guys on the list, and they're all in the top 30, and they're all on the offensive line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not great.
Huh. Hey, well, Darrell Jackson was on the list last year.
He was. And why is he not on the list this year? What happened? Did he lose an inch?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you can't repeat. It's all for new names that you don't go back and use the same guys again. I don't know how that works. Seems like if you're a freak last year, you'd be a freak this year. Look, it's a cool list. I'm not besmirching Bruce Feldman. Really good. I really respect what he does. He is a straight up college football fan. He knows the sport. He's been inside the sport. Just a legitimately good journalist. I don't care about the freak list. It's cool. Like, if you were telling me what made these Alabama guys freaks, it's not snap count or PFF grades. It's like being able to bench 500 pounds and run over 20 miles per hour.
Yeah, Proctor 6'7", 366 with 26% body fat, squatted 815, benched 535. Good luck with that.
He's a really strong dude. We knew that. And also, yeah, he's a really, really strong guy. But,
their center,
of course he is.
Their center, Parker Brailsford, graded out at 80.7 on run blocking. That was second among power conference centers.
Well, that's not what makes that a freaky?
Well, you said that, they don't have PFF.
No, I did not say they don't have.
This.
I'm saying I care more about that. I care more about what they do on a football field.
Okay, well, he did that. He did that, and he's 6'2", 290, 19% body fat, benched 505, squatted 675, vertical jump 33 inches.
Well, hey, if you're kicking a field goal, don't let that kid get his hand on it. Don't let him get a running start and jump up. Look,
that's
again,
athleticism. That's like raw athleticism. Being able to move off the ball, block guys, get your hands on them, have good feet, though. I think that means something. But
is that a stunner? We know Alabama has a really good offensive line. That is a scary group to go up against. NC State having 3 guys doesn't scare me at all. It's 3 out of 40 that are going to play. And sometimes, Mekhi Danzy's on the list. Is he even going to play?
Yeah.
He ran. What does he run? 24 miles an hour. He's clocked at, which is insanity. But he might even play this year or play a lot. So it's a cool list to start the season. A really cool list. And it sounds like I'm besmirching it. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think it portends to how good your team is going to be because you have 3 of your 100 players on your team on this list. Every Division I team in the country has dudes that are unbelievable athletes. Like guys like Florida State has defensive ends. Florida State, and I'm not in love with their defensive ends, that if you watch them in a pickup basketball game would go, oh my God, he just did a tomahawk. They're all crazy athletes. Some are a little bit better than others, but they're all crazy athletes. Dakota Watson was on that list one year. God love Dakota Watson. I always loved talking to him. Linebacker from I guess that was the end of the Jimbo era, or the end of the Bobby era, into Jimbo. Great athlete. I think he said he had an 8-pack. It really was crazy seeing that dude without a shirt on. It looked like he was cut out of marble. But he wasn't a special football player, but he had special athleticism. And that's what this list is for. It's to let you know what kind of unbelievable athletes these guys are. Squatting 800 pounds is insanity. Yeah. But we knew Proctor was good. That's why he's going to be a first-round pick. It'd be cooler if Feldman was like he actually squats 325. That's freaky. How are you so good then? You're squatting what my 17-year-old son squats. Yeah. So what makes you so good? That's the freaky list I want to see. Is really good football players with horrible numbers, like Restrepo at Miami.
Yeah.
What, he run a 5.7 40 and nobody could cover the kid.
Yeah.
And he had made big plays. How is that even explainable?
Or Kevin Durant.
That's inexplicable.
I think Kevin Durant
doing one bench press.
Yeah, 185. 185, not 225. 185 they do at the NBA Combine. But,
and he couldn't do one, right?
No, I don't think.
And he's one of the top 20 players that's ever lived. I guess he doesn't do a lot with his strength, but he's not weak. Yeah. You can't be a weak baby man and scored 25,000 points in the NBA at 7 foot. That's not a thing. So, yeah, I just think that would be really cool, too, to see, the worst athletes, measurable-wise, that are the best football players.
Like Mahomes' dad bod almost, right? Like the dad bod.
Yeah, exactly. What is Mahomes? How many sit-ups can Mahomes do? 11? But he's one of the best, maybe the best quarterback that's ever lived. So that's Brady. Brady ran a 5.1 40 or 5.2 40 and ended up being the best quarterback of all time. So that'd be a really cool list too. But yes, Alabama's got some dudes. The guys that they have for Clemson, especially the Woods, the defensive lineman, insane talent. Yeah. Insane talent. Yeah. I'm not worried so much about Wake Forest kick returner. Yeah, I assume they all do crazy things.
Yeah, no, just Alabama. It's 3 guys that are going to start and play pretty much every snap, and so it's But I guess, nothing that we didn't already know. But when you see it kind of laid bare and then your only guy that makes a list is a kind of specialty gadget guy that's going to maybe get, 10, 12 snaps a game. But just makes the upset all that much sweeter when it happens, Corey Clark. What would the line be?
Daryl Jackson's still freaky, right?
Yeah. James Williams,
right? Knighton says that, he's never seen guys do what he's never been around a guy that can do what Daryl Jackson can do, physically. James Williams has said that. Bruce Feldman said it last year. I don't remember what his numbers were. I think it was whatever he is, 330 pounds, and top speed was 20.6 miles per hour or something just crazy, crazy stuff. Didn't quite translate into being awesome. Second half of the season, he was very good. The first half of the season, he didn't look like a freak. But yes, the point being, I get what you're saying. Yeah, Alabama's going to be a doozy. That's a really good offensive line with some NFL dudes. But, hey,
what would the line
Florida
be if
State's
they
got
had
Daryl Jackson?
What would the line be if Alabama had a quarterback? Like, not even a great quarterback, like Luke Altmaier. Like a guy that won 9 games at Illinois last year and probably threw for 3,000 yards. What if the quarterbacks were swapped?
I think if Alabama had somebody a little more proven, it would be much bigger. But I don't know that Altmaier gives you an extra touchdown. I don't think the prospect of him, because it's one thing to play at Illinois, it's another thing to be. But yes, the fact that he started games would be beneficial. But like if they had Carson Beck, I think it goes up a couple of points. Like from their 12-point favorite to a 14 and a half, but nothing big. Now, if Cam Ward came back for another year and went to Alabama, it would be 20 at least. You know what I mean? Like a proven, dynamic, all-American type quarterback. Yeah, man, that's adding an extra. I would think an extra touchdown. Which again, I would tell everybody: take the Noles and the points. Take the Noles and the points, baby.
Daryl Jackson. Arm length 36 inches, 11-inch hands, ran 20.6 miles per hour in pads, squatted over 600 pounds, benched over 400. He was number 5 on the freaks list last year. So,
and now he's nowhere to be found. Was Proctor on there last year? He might not. I don't know if he says anything like nobody's
wasn't
allowed to be on a repeat. Nobody's allowed to repeat it.
No, I think he put the kid. Yeah, I know the defensive tackle from Georgia Tech, Jordan Vandenberg. He was on it last year and this year, so it's
What about and I bet Jeremiah Smith?
Yes, Smith was. Proctor was not on the list. Jeremiah Smith was number 7. He's number 1 on the list this year. So
they're saying Daryl Jackson ran 20.6 miles per hour in football pads.
That's what the coach. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's scary,
Daryl, come on, dude.
One time, baby.
I mean, go be the best player in the country, man. That's nuts. I know it's not like you utilize his speed a lot. But that's that's what I'm saying. That's faster than Restrepo. Yeah. Restrepo wasn't topping out at 21 miles an hour. So let Daryl be a slot receiver. I guarantee you he's in the Heisman conversation, Aslan, if he's a defensive tackle / receiver.
Let's do it.
First one in college football history. He's on the short list. He'd go to New York.
Decisions. Power or speed, quality or quantity. How about both? How about all? You don't have to sacrifice anything when you choose Brunt Workwear. You're not only going to get durable, well-crafted, resilient workwear, but also really stylish choices that allow you to go ahead and pivot right from the job site to your kids' activities, running errands, or meeting up for drinks after work. And since Brunt Workwear is geared for you, the real worker, they know you've got no time to waste. You need those work boots to deliver once you get them in the mail and you lace them up. So enjoy the peace of mind of work boots and gear that are ready to go right out of the box. Got that broken and comfortable feeling day one to give you the comfort and security you want. Use the promo code WAKEUP. I'm going to say it one more time. Wake up. It's all one word. Over at bruntworkwear.com to save $10 off your order. I'm going to say the website again, everybody. You ready? bruntworkwear.com. Use that promo code to save $10 off your order. You thought we were done? We're not done.
I thought we were done.
It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. We spoke way too much about what the coaches and players said. That was my bad. I should have wrapped this up. But also on Monday, another list dropped, and that was from Rivals.com. Their all-time Rivals 5-star players, the top 32 in network history, Corey Clark.
All right.
So we're going to play a little game here.
All right.
Called Are They Better Than Jameis? Jameis Winston checked in at 18 on this list. 18.
What's the criteria? Like, who had the best college career, or like
Yes.
who was the biggest deal at the time?
Let's see if they actually let's see here. Ranking is formulated by a combination of their prep accolades, recruiting hype, college career, and their NFL draft slot.
Okay.
So not their
All
NFL
right,
career, but where they got drafted.
Okay, that's good to know, because the
Okay.
prep hype does matter. Jameis was hyped, but he wasn't like Lorenzo Booker hyped. Anyway, go ahead.
Jameis Winston better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence ranked ahead of him.
Oh, that's a tough one though. I don't remember Trevor's hype. I don't remember because I feel like he committed to Clemson pretty early. Yeah. But yeah, I would say now that I think about it, Trevor Lawrence was really darn good. Won a national championship as a freshman, right? I think.
Yes.
Was also drafted first, and has not been great in the NFL, but I think you could say has been better than Jameis in the NFL. So I guess I can see that apples to apples since they're both ACC quarterbacks. It's close.
Jameis or Leonard Fournette, who's ranked
Jameis.
higher?
Jameis.
Correct. Leonard Fournette checked in at 25. Jameis Winston or Vince Young?
See, Jameis had a better NFL career than Vince Young.
That's not part of it. That's not part of it. NFL draft slot.
Oh, well, he was drafted higher. Yeah. Not by much, but he was. Similar college careers. I would say Jameis had a better college career because he really only played 2 years and lost one game. Vince Young was awesome his last year. The hype, I think, I would say Vince Young is ranked higher.
Vince Young is number 2 on this list.
That seems a little bit too high for me, but all right.
I got to do this to you, and I take no joy in it. Jameis Winston or Tim Tebow, who's ranked higher?
Prep accolades, draft position, college career. I guess Tebow because he played all the years.
Yeah,
and won a couple national championships.
Tebow number 4 on the list.
All right. He almost went to Alabama. Everyone.
Yeah.
I think if Mike Shula had stayed there, he might have gone to Alabama, something like that, or maybe if Saban had gone. I don't know. Go ahead.
Adrian Peterson or Jameis Winston?
I would say Adrian Peterson. I remember that recruiting being like crazy between Texas and Oklahoma, and he was like a super duper freak number 1 running back of all time type hype coming out. Jameis never got that kind of hype coming out of high school where people thought he might be the best ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Adrian Peterson, but I guess I'm probably wrong.
Adrian Peterson number 3 on the list.
Okay, there you go. All right, well, I've nailed all that. Yeah. Good.
All right,
Are there any other Noles?
Yeah. Ernie Sims. How about this? Ernie Sims or C.J. Spiller? Who do you think was ranked higher?
Ernie Sims.
Correct.
Maybe. Ernie Sims, yeah.
Correct.
Ernie Sims was a really big deal in, when would that have been, 03?
Yep.
Like number 1 or number 2 player in the United States, like a running back, fullback, or running back, linebacker, just a freak guy, and now a part of the coaching staff.
Yeah. He's even ranked ahead of Percy Harvin, Ernie Sims.
There you go. Suck on that, Percy.
Yeah. Nole's got more guys on this list than the Canes do, by the way.
Okay, well, that stands to reason. Who else is on it? Just Ernie?
Yeah, it's just Ernie and John.
Oh, okay. All right. Who was Miami's guy? Devin Hester?
DJ Williams.
Oh yeah, he was a big deal out of California. He was a two-way player too. He was like an Ernie Sims type, coming out of. I think he played at De La Salle, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's that team that won 100-something games in a row. So that's a good one. But that was their only one, huh?
Only one since 20 or 2000, whatever. So, number 1 on this list is Reggie Bush.
See. Okay, fair.
Makes sense to me. I mean, he was incredible.
He was insane,
had
but
so
I
much
just
hype
didn't
too.
remember. Did he? Because that's what I didn't remember. I didn't remember the hype he had. And not that I paid a bunch of attention to Southern Cal recruiting, but I didn't remember him having the hype coming out of college or out of high school that Lorenzo Booker had. And they were at the similar age. I thought Lorenzo Booker was a bigger deal coming out of high school than Reggie Bush. And the jury's still out on who had the better college career. Some people say Bush, some people say Booker. I mean, it's like it's really preference more than anything else. But yeah, I that's surprising because I didn't know he was like that big a deal coming out of high school, but clearly he was.
He was the number 2 player in the country that year, behind Ernie Sims III.
Oh, all right. Reggie Bush was number 2 in the country.
Yeah.
They went back and edited that. He was probably number 44, and then they're like, we can't have Reggie Bush behind 43 other people. Let's bump him up to number 2 when nobody's paying attention.
Guys that Jameis is ranked ahead of includes Caleb Williams, A.J. Green, Jeremiah Smith, Laramie Tunsil, Sammy Watkins, Robert Kimdichie. Guys that he's ranked behind include Haloti Ngata, Travis Hunter, Bryce Young, Julio Jones, Jadeveon Clowney, Cam Newton, and Matt Stafford. A little bit disrespectful, it feels like. I should count this down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks ahead of Jameis Winston since 2000.
Yeah, Matt Stafford being ahead of him.
Makes no
I also
sense.
didn't know that Cam Newton was like that big. I mean, I know he was good, really, really good, and highly thought of coming out of Westlake in Atlanta. I didn't know he was like super duper 5-star can't miss quarterback.
Yeah, because they had him and Tebow. It was like, ooh, they got the whole thing.
I remember that. Yeah, wait till you see the backup.
Yeah.
And they were right. The people that said that were right. The backup was better than Tebow, which is insane. Just didn't do it at Florida, thank heavens. But yeah, Stafford though, I can't understand the reasoning there.
I mean, he went first overall, but so did Jameis.
Georgia.
You know, like he went first overall, but so did Jameis. Like, what's the?
I know, and Jameis accomplished more in college.
Yeah,
a lot more. Like Stafford was on pretty good teams. You know, he wasn't on a national champion. He certainly didn't win 29 in a row. No. That's dumb. That's the one I have the biggest problem with. Matt Stafford being ahead of him.
And Bryce Young, I guess. Did Bryce Young win a Heisman? He didn't win a national title, but I think he might have won a Heisman. So, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Recruit the next
show,
guy.
Aslan. Is it over?
It is.
The show
it's
almost
over. We did it. We did it. We made it. It's over. I don't know if are you guys gonna do Seminole headlines?
It looks dicey because Jeff is sick.
Right.
He's got COVID-25.
Welcome to the club.
It looks like he's down for the count. So I don't think we're going to do it today, but maybe he'll feel better, and we will. We'll see. Okay.
In the meantime, everything you want about your favorite teams over at warchant.com. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and brew a pot of coffee, or better yet, take a shot of vitamin energy. Scrimmage going down tonight. We'll get Mike Norvell a little bit before 10 p.m. Eastern time, and that will be part of the show for you tomorrow, as well as the Renegade Express mailbag and generating discussion sparked by Cummins. We're going to do our gift bag drawing for the winner for the month of July, so tune in for that one, boys and girls. We'll talk to you folks in another day. He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com.